This here is a Samsung DMT800 dishwasher. I had a problem where it wasn't doing a good job cleaning, and it looked like I wasn't getting enough pressure to the upper nozzles. So I'm going to save you time. I've already taken it apart, and I'll show you how it goes back together. But they have a lot of reasons what causes this problem, and I found the reason. But I had to take the dishwasher apart. Here are all the screws. And what I discovered is, after taking it apart, I didn't want to, but I had to, there's a chopper grinder blade all the way at the bottom. And that grinder blade broke. So it wasn't grinding the food, and there's a screen in there. So the screen wasn't getting enough water pressure to push up to the upper nozzles. So that's the only way to find that out, is to take the whole thing apart. And voila, here's the whole thing taken apart. And if you look down there, you'll see there's the motor, the drive motor. But here's the trick right here. This was full. Now I'm going to tell you, it's a good idea to clean this stuff out. Take it all apart and clean everything. I cleaned this. This was full of debris. And this is where the blade sits. The blade sits here and chops up all the ground food. But I took it all apart. It was all dirty. I had to clean it. Now you'll notice that you can start the dishwasher and there will be a cycle where it empties the water and then refills. While it's running, you can stop it and look and see if your pressure sprayers are turning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back together. And one of the tricks here, see if I can get this. See all that rub part? That rub part is the side. See, there's a cut. I call that the cutting side. Other people think it's otherwise, but the rub part goes on here. So when it goes on the little rotor, it goes this way, and then you'll see right there, there's a little stamp which shows you U for up, and then that would face up. So this faces up, so the angled blade faces down. The angled blade faces down when you put it on the motor. So I'm going to put this back together. I got this new blade from an online store. This is a stainless steel blade, and it seems like a pain. You just have to remove a lot of screws, but once you get all the screws out, everything pops out real easy. Download the service manual for the DMT800 series, and the service manual, while basic, does give you information on how to take this apart, and it's not as bad as you think. It's just be careful with all the parts, because they could easily break if you're not careful. You got to pull the channel, the water channel out. Got to pull everything out. You got to start from the top down, and that's how you do it. Now I'm going to put it all back together. Okay, this is the Samsung dishwasher. We're going to put it back together. I've saved you the hassle of taking it apart. It's just taking a whole bunch of screws out and pulling everything out carefully. Get the service manual, because that's got the instructions. This is the main motor, the shaft that the blade is going to sit on, and that's the valve motor that switches the 3 different sprayers. 4 actually. This one has a storm sprayer. That's the heater. I've cleaned this out best I can. When I get back together, I'll throw some chlorine in there to try and clean this out a little bit more. But here's what we got. There's the old blades, as you can see. The scratch marks on the side that faces up. How can you tell? That's Here's the new blade. See the U? U is for up. So you can see that's the flat side facing up. And there's the angled side facing down. No markings on the angled side. So this is just as simple as placing it back in. Just place it on here. There it goes. That's it. That's how the grinder works. Just sits right there. Then we start putting the parts back together. There's this one. Goes right here. Everything lines up. Check the seals. The seals are good. I'm not going to take those apart. Those look good. And it sits on top of here. Just like that. Look at that. Look at that sit on the blade. Right there. I had to take this screen out and clean it. So it's clean now. As you can see, it sits perfectly right there. Okay. Now I just have to slowly put it back together. First thing you need to do is when you get that lower plate in, yeah, this is the valve for the sprayer. That's the spray valve that goes there. And then here's the main pump. Goes in there. It's kind of locking. There we go. I gotta screw that in. Carefully. Those two are in. Okay. I got the valve and the pump in. Now goes the top piece. Everything pops in real easy. Right in place. And then I gotta put a screw in here. Right there. Okay. Top screen on. Now the trick is all these are long screws. Long screws. There's one short one. The short one goes on mine to the storm wash nozzle. Right there. Right there. That's the only short one. Everything else is long. So this one just pops right in. Everything's in. I've got the valve in. And the pump blade in. It goes in here. You can line it up. That's great when you can use this. There we go. That's lined up. And then the small screw. Now, don't forget, whenever you're pulling all these screws in and out, be careful you don't drop anything into the middle. There we go, that one's in. Okay. There we go. That's simple, this guy. Very straightforward. Not as hard as you think it is. It just turns, locks into place. Okay. There it is. And then do the top one. Lock it into place. Oops. Get it in there. Oops. There we go. That's it. That's it. Now I just have to put everything back together. Put all the screws back into place. Here comes the screen next. The screen just pops right in. Everything just pops right in. Very good setup. Except here's the problem. I have to put the screen in before putting this back. Okay. So filter screen goes, then this guy goes in and locks in. There we go. And then the tiny screw goes in the back. right here. That's it, I just need to put a bunch of screws in. All right, here we go. We've got everything in. I've got all my screws are gone. They're all here. Now all the big ones, they fit in nicely. A little tiny one that goes there for the storm wash. Valves are in place. The screen, I took a while. I cleaned the screen when I pulled it out. Like I said, you pull everything out, and it's worthwhile. This dishwasher is about 10 years old, and it was dirty. It needed cleaning. With that grinder blade not working, it got real dirty real fast. So hopefully this will fix it and I'll have all the pressure back. So my pressure problem for these uppers was that blade was broken and that big screen, that little screen in the middle was clogged. And so it wasn't getting enough pressure to the upper nozzles. So that's it. Back together this goes, and this is repairing a Samsung DMT800. All working. Top nozzle's turning, middle nozzle's turning. Everything's working the way it should. All because of a broken grinder blade. Back to normal. Notice how you can stop it while it's washing. Close it up and it gets back to where it was.